Hello there, friends. Welcome back to my office. Today we'll be sharing with you part 2 of the Argos Fragrance Discovery Set.
If you happen to have missed part 1, you can check the description below for a link to that.
All right, well, let's go ahead and begin. We'll do the same process as before, just kind of reaching in and seeing what comes out. We have 6 more fragrances to go.
And the same mythological facts in lieu of ratings.
Absolutely. Okay, let's see what this first one is. Triumph of Bacchus. There's the inside. Yeah, the apple scent is like what specifically interests me about this one.
Yeah, it's interesting to me the first time I heard about this fragrance that obviously having a boozy accord with a name like Triumph of Bacchus, it makes sense, Bacchus being kind of the god of revelry within Rome. Well, no.
Roman, right? Or
Bacchus, it's Dionysus is the Greek one.
Yes.
Bacchus is the Roman version. But yeah, Bacchus, kind of like the god of wine and revelry, so it makes sense. I was expecting a wine note, but it's a rum instead is what the accord is, so.
All right, should we try this one on my skin or yours?
If you want, I have a feeling probably you're going to like this more and will want to have it on you for the rest of the evening. So why don't you start?
Okay, let's start off that way then. One more?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There you go.
That's good. I'm not really picking up anything in the air yet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, getting in close makes sense for that one. The tobacco is very prominent, which...
Right at the opening.
I like it. I like that quite a bit.
It's nice and fruity in the opening, but not like super sweet. I think this is totally unisex, just at my first impression.
Yeah. It's sometimes I think tobacco features pretty heavily in like kind of more masculine leaning scents. If you think of like tobaccos like Tobacco Vanille as a Tom Ford, it's kind of marketed more so as a masculine fragrance, you know, red tobacco, things like that. But this
could be a tobacco for a lady for sure. Like, I don't personally like many tobacco scents on my own skin. Like Tobacco Vanille just wasn't it for me. But like this is something I could actually see myself wearing because like the bright fruits and the florals kind of like balance that out. It's a nice, like, it's a balanced fragrance.
And when you're talking about tobacco as well, like a lot of people, you know, initially you say tobacco, and obviously if you're a fragrance kind of enthusiast, you understand that tobacco doesn't mean like cigarette smoke. That's not what it is. This is a tobacco where you're in a tobacco lounge, you open up a humidor, and it's, there's no real dryness to this. It is
the fresh wet leaf.
Supple, it's honeyed, and there's some warmth to it. The color brown really is flashing in my head, but brown and like caramel almond, kind of this sweet, supple tobacco, not dry in any capacity. And that's why I think it plays well more so as a unisex scent. This does not scream power, masculinity kind of thing. I don't mean that it doesn't have a performance aspect to it. It does, but
it's subdued, I think. It's a bit more subdued.
It's classy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a classy tobacco fragrance.
Yeah, I like this one. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. I was very excited about like the juicy apple, any kind of fruits I tend to get excited about because fruity floral is my wheelhouse. And so I was like 50-50 about this one, about whether I thought I was going to like it, but I do. I do like it. I think this will be one that I'll give a full day's wear to, like I did with Danae.
Really fantastic blend.
Much agreed.
Enjoyed this one. Delightful, but not something that I'm necessarily like, oh my gosh, it's not that same sort of response as the other ones that we've tried thus far. So
yeah, agreed. I think it'll be worth a full day's wear for me at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We have to give a rating.
Oh yeah, what's our rating? Let's see. Triumph of Bacchus. Oh, we could talk about the Bacchanal in Las Vegas.
A buffet that neither of us have been to.
No, it's a joke.
Out of 5.
That's a joke. We like to watch travel content on YouTube. That's what we were doing before we filmed this video together.
Yeah, but Bacchanalian, like you're describing it. Well, and so I guess that's kind of interesting. Do I get a vibe of like a Bacchanalian event in that particular fragrance?
Not really personally. I think if it had even more booze and like dates and honey and spices and like more juicy fruits and more flowers, then maybe, yeah. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's I'm stumped with this one, to be honest with you. It's nice, but like with a name like Triumph of Bacchus, I don't know, I was thinking of something a little bit louder, a little bit more kind of
like hedonistic, right?
Hedonistic, party-like, yeah.
That's what I was expecting.
And if that's, well, and so I guess the thing is, if that was your expectation as well, you might want to give it a shot if you were like, I don't know, I'd rather have something a bit more kind of classy and subdued. Because I think that's more so what it is.
I could wear this to like to work maybe with a light application. Like this isn't something...
You work by yourself.
Well, you know what I mean. Like if I went to an in-person event.
Yeah, well, I think that would be a great, like this thing, if you were going to a work function, like even like a work party.
A work function, yes, that's what I mean, a meeting.
Something like that, it would totally work. Yeah, it's sweet, delightful. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I get Triumph of Bacchus as much as I get like... I'm trying to think. What would make more sense in my head? But yeah, it's
I'm surprised we haven't talked about shisha yet. That's what it reminds me of, especially when he was talking about the tobacco, like the fresh tobacco being processed. I was imagining like apple flavored shisha, like sticky in the package.
Molasses, and with shisha, the main thing around it is molasses, actually, is how that works. So actually that is kind of a good point. That sort of sweet kind of tobacco molasses almost.
That's just the image I kept getting in my mind.
Yeah. Mythological hookah bar out of 5.
Mythological hookah bar. Exciting. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. It's going sideways. Ooh. Alrighty. So, the next one. Fall of Phaeton.
Ooh, there's a horse butt in that photo.
There's also the rest of the horse, not just the butt. Is that your impression of a horse whinnying?
No, that's my giggle.
I know it is.
Fight you.
Shocking. Ah, yes. Peter Paul Rubens. That's the painting, of course. Like we mentioned previously in the last video, the paintings and the artwork is definitely one of the factors here. But Fall of Phaeton, so. And Peter Paul Rubens is very famous Flemish. Ooh.
If you've heard the term Rubenesque.
Don't spoil my history.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, art history fact.
Don't spoil
it's
that.
where our education lines up, right? It's where it crosses over.
Exactly. Don't spoil it. Out of 5. Like, come on.
I like that in the air.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, right? It's pink pepper again. It's that pink pepper. And I think why I like this is I'm already getting a lot of parallels to Danae in the air. So I think that that's immediately kind of... Mm-hmm.
Nice oil sheen on your hand.
Yeah. You can kind of pick it up. Mm.
Yeah, peppery, woody.
Vanillic.
Yeah, it's a little bit sweet to me, but definitely still masculine.
There's tonka, so that's that.
Oh, I love tonka. That's one of my favorite notes.
I will say too, where like when I say woody, like in fragrances, you smell something like Dior Homme 2020 or something like that, and that's a woody citric fragrance. This smells like wood. Not a woody fragrance. This is wood. Like, this is... You walked into a shop, and there's wood in that shop being processed, cut, used. Yeah, that's I really enjoy that one. It's like having, like I said before, it's like having Danae, but adding a little bit of kind of vanillic tone from like a tonka. That sweetness is in there. And that spiciness at the top. Because there's cardamom, there's ginger.
It's a bit more aromatic to me as well when I'm comparing it to Danae. Yeah, that's pretty. I like that. I think that one's a bit more you, though.
Yeah. No, this is definitely something more that I would find myself kind of in the bit of the weather that we're in right now. Yeah, I quite like this one a lot. Definitely, yeah, the woodiness is that photorealistic kind of woodiness.
Agreed.
There's not really a discussion point of like, oh, it's wood-esque, or maybe it's, vetiver kind of. No, it's wood. Yeah. This is definitely for me. It's got vanilla and lavender in it.
I would imagine that'd be pretty long-lasting too, just looking at those base notes. Leather, tonka, vanilla, musk.
No,
Nice.
I quite enjoy this one.
Oh, and labdanum and agarwood. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very woody, resinous with a sweetness. Not gourmand sweet.
Yeah, not gourmand sweet. It's just it's not like designer sweet either. It's just like a nice sweetness to kind of like smooth out the base.
Yeah. No, this is a good one.
What's our fact? Or what's our rating for Follow Phaeton?
Well, since you already started it, why don't you tell the people what Rubenesque means?
Oh, okay. So we have this lovely painting right here, right? And you'd say that horse looks kind of thick with 3 C's, right?
So I ask you to describe the term Rubenesque, and the first thing you go to is a horse's ass.
I'm sorry, that's just what my eye goes to. Wouldn't you say that horse is...
Stop it. Pierre-Paul Rubens is a Flemish painter who was well known for drawing women to be curvy and voluptuous, and it's now termed Rubenesque. So, like, this horse's ass is Rubenesque.
So you agree with me? Like, not in a weird way, right? I mean, like, not in a weird way. Okay, I'm cutting this out.
Not in a weird way. Yeah, sure, I agree with you. Not in a weird way, out of 5.
That can't go in the video.
It should go in the video.
No.
That's funny.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Come on! Like, come on! That's a focal point in the painting.
Listen, I mean...
Look at...
Yeah, but also, like, Rubenesque would be something more in line with Some Like It Hot, sing
Oh,
Happy Birthday.
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe, Rubenesque like the horse's ass in the painting. Out of 5. I'm gonna need a bacchanalian drink after that. Horse's ass.
Up next we have Brevido della Caccia. Some more angelic artwork here. Let's see, wildly romantic yet strikingly refined. What is oil of Fleuve?
Oil of Fleuve.
Fleuve. Show it on the camera. I'm still not getting it in the air yet.
Really? I'm getting iris.
Okay, yeah, powdery.
I don't know how you're gonna feel about that.
It's almost like a little sour. There's something like a little sour that I'm getting it. Okay.
It's the oud. That's actually very nice.
I don't dislike it. It's just not what I was expecting.
But I thought there was oud. There isn't.
Birch?
There's birch. It's the leather accord, I think, is you're getting that kind of... It's animalic leather. It's definitely not, like, clean leather.
Yeah, I prefer, like, I'm still kind of, like, just becoming less afraid of leather, and I prefer, like, a clean new car smell type leather.
Yeah, that's not this. This is closer to leather workshop kind of leather. It's that birch and leather note is definitely... This is one of those ones where this is, to me, kind of a special occasion sort of fragrance as well.
It reminds me... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. Go.
It really reminds me, when I think of a place, of, like, a forest. Like, I think of a forest, a deciduous forest. And the leaves are falling, and there's, like, little critters running around.
Yeah, it's very green.
Yeah.
It's very green. Green leather. The iris, it's an iris concrete note, so it's more like the orris, kind of the root, as opposed to the flower of iris. Not lipsticky at all.
Yeah, not lipsticky.
Earthy. Green, earthy. Yeah, it's really nice though. This is this would be great like fall time into spring if you're into those green earthy fragrances, and not green from like herbaceousness.
Yeah.
Green from like tree root, that type of green. We're not looking at green in the sense of like a mint accord or basil or anything like that.
Not aromatic. It's just very, I like the way you said earthy. I think earthy in like all senses. That's a great way to describe it. Yeah. Not to my taste personally, but I do think it's nice. I think it's a pretty perfume.
And this one tracks actually a lot more in regards to like the image, because Artemis is a goddess who's a virgin and is known as kind of like a hunter or a huntress, if you will. And there's a story where she was bathing in the woods and a hunter happened upon her, so she turned him into a deer. that's the story.
That's funny because that's what I was imagining, a woods and a deer running through the woods.
Which makes sense also with the art, right? He's got the stag kind of antlers happening. Yeah, that hits and resonates with me both as a scent profile and what's being evoked by the art more than Triumph of Bacchus did.
Yeah.
This is quite nice. I really, it's that green earthiness, it's settling even more into that. The animalic note has kind of played down a little bit more, and now it's the saffron to me is kind of coming out a little bit more. That leather is becoming more and more prominent. I would dress this one up.
Yeah.
Fall of Phaeton, I could wear. Oh.
How's that one changing?
Sorry. Do you not like how this smells?
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay. Yeah, no.
I like that one better.
Yeah, that's Fall of Phaeton. Yeah. This is something that it's definitely the most masculine out of all of them. It smells, I don't want to say traditional, but it smells almost like a kind of interesting take on a kind of like masculine powerhouse fragrance. Like old school kind of fougere, but in a modern sense. Leather, greens, no sweetness really to speak of. Yeah, that's quite nice. The fact would be
R rating.
don't go being a peeping Tom in the forest or you'll get turned into a deer. Out of a 10-point scale, because like a 10-point buck.
10-point buck.
Never mind. Just go to the next one.
Okay.
I think I got two.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Birth of Venus.
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. The whole one there. This is probably a painting that, even if you're not really all that into art, some of these ones you may have been like, I've never seen that before, but you've probably seen that, that painting before. It's a Botticelli, famous Italian painter. And obviously Venus is the Romanized version of Aphrodite. So I'll be interested to know if this one actually is like comes off as feminine because so much of it is already evoking that, but
it's so hard to use my non-dominant hand. Could you do this for me?
mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
That very much jumps out.
Refreshing in the opening and sweet like powdered candies. Like, I love that in the opening.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really nice. That's powdered candy, I think, is a good way to describe that. That is just straight up a bag of some sort of like Skittles, super juicy, fruity kind of candied smell. Quite a departure from the two that are presently on my hands. Like, wildly different.
So different from all of the others that we've tried, really. I'm interested to see how this one changes as it dries down, definitely. I wonder if it's gonna get more floral as it dries down.
Yeah, that's really lovely. That is your spring, summer, douse yourself in that stuff and go outside. And I bet when your skin heats up with that, it's probably
Yes.
probably wonderful. Like,
I'm curious as to how this one's gonna change over time.
yeah, I think that little bit of kind of the lipsticky powderiness is coming a little bit more prominent. Blending's really great on that. I can't necessarily pick out like the floral notes. There's like there's the idea, it's like, okay, I'm getting white floral with a jasmine, I'm getting kind of a powdery iris sort of note, but a wonderful sweet citrusy on top, red fruity kind of vibe. If it does dry down with more of those kind of warm woods coming in at the base level, I think that will end up being a great one. Unisex.
Definitely, especially if you like fruity floral. If fruity floral is your like go-to, scent profile, this is so to my taste. I love it. This one's definitely gonna get a full day's wearing.
Yeah, I should say unisex if you're cool with things like herba pura, that kind of stuff. If you're fine with fruity fragrances, that's a great kind of summer thing. If you're someone who you're like only wearing fougères or something like that, then yeah, that's not...
It doesn't scream like overly feminine to me, especially in the floral aspect, because some certain types of florals can just feel very feminine leaning. Yeah, this is lovely. I'm excited to wear this. So Birth of Venus, what will be our rating for Birth of Venus?
Do you want to go with the castration thing, or do you want to bring up the cat?
Let's talk about the cat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, though. She arose from, like, sea foam and stuff. That's why in the picture she's in there. And I think it was Poseidon.
Oh, so the Birth of Venus, she's being born from out of the shell. Oh,
yeah,
as a grown woman.
Fully out in the shell, because she comes from Poseidon. I think, was it Poseidon? Someone got castrated. Unless I'm misremembering.
Interesting. Well, as many of y'all know, well, I shouldn't say as many of y'all know, with the Roman Empire and their tendency to conquer the people that they settled, they had a habit of syncretizing local religions in the areas where they traveled, where they settled. And they would assign gods from their own pantheon and find ways to kind of sync them up with the gods of other pantheons. So, for example, the correspondence of Venus to the Greek pantheon would be Aphrodite. And in the Egyptian pantheon, that counterpart for Venus is Bastet.
I was wrong. It was Kronos who cut off Uranus's genitals. And those fell into the sea, and that's how you got Aphrodite.
I like my fact better.
C is for castration. And cat.
Actually, perfume was used as an offering to the goddess Bastet in ancient Egypt.
It was also used in Roman streets and things like that.
Yeah, they would perfume the streets. That's so cool. Should bring that back.
Can you imagine like walking down a street and for whatever reason the city you're in could only afford like Youp as the perfume?
No, like a single scent, like just like an orange blossom cologne, just like wafting in the air, like something really agreeable. I guess that's kind of like why they put flowers in festivals, isn't it?
Yeah, or like
Perfumes the
why
air.
there's room scents and hotels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Signature hotel scents and
That's
stuff.
very
That's cool.
interesting to me, and that's something that I'd like to get in, like learn more about, is signature hotel scents. Out of 5.
Love triumphs over war. And this is another Peter Paul Rubens one. You can kind of, so instead of a horse's butt this time, you can kind of see she's got hips that are a little bit more in line with the Rubenesque Marilyn Monroe likening instead of a horse's butt, so you can kind of understand that better.
A better example of a Rubenesque type figure.
A Rubenesque figure. Okay. I'm actually pretty excited for this one as well. There's some interesting things going on here. It's got clove, so we'll see
I like
how
clove.
prominent that is. I like clove as well.
That's interesting. I like it. Aromatic.
Very aromatic. I think it's the gardenia is that white flower that I'm definitely getting the most of.
I love gardenia flower.
Fizzy, bergamot, lemon, orange. So kind of in that sort of sparkly effervescent. Lot of white florals. Yeah, no, that's quite nice. This one I envision white linens.
I was thinking the same thing, like fresh laundry, fresh sheets, like maybe even at like a hotel or a resort. And for some reason I'm picturing wicker too. Like there's some sort of wicker accessory there, but fresh white linens. Too funny.
Yeah. And it's not like dryer sheet clean laundry. It's
like fluffy.
There's a musk in here. That's really nice. That's kind of in line with what I envision in sort of spring stuff. This is sort of that really encapsulated by that scent. Yeah, that's very nice. Bright, citrusy, jumps off the skin, little bit of fuzziness, and maybe that's the dryer sheet aspect that I was kind of talking about, that effervescence.
It's got a texture to it. It has an interesting texture to it that I like.
Very much so. Out of all the ones that we've kind of done today, it's got the most sort of brightness and texture. No real sweetness necessarily. It's the sweetness that you'd get of florals. I think that this does a great job, kind of similar in the sense of, whereas like the Fall of Phaeton I was talking about, like that woody smell was very photorealistic. This is kind of that sort of dunking your head into just a bouquet of white florals.
And I like there's this wedding imagery almost on the bottle. And I love that. And it really, you see her draped in the white linens, and they're covered in roses and flowers, rather, this wreath around them. I think that imagery, like, matches the fragrance. And I think that, either person in the photo could be wearing this, I think that anyone could wear this one.
Mars and Venus, the idea of love, Venus triumphs over war with Mars. So yeah, that's really nice. That is, and I think that's probably, that's such a fun way. There's cinnamon in here, and I think that's part of it, right? It's a subtle nod to kind of the fiery aspect of this.
Yeah, the clove and cinnamon are two notes when put together that I love.
I think that's kind of fun. I think the idea here, and maybe I'm speaking kind of just out of turn, but this is the way that I kind of interpret it, is there's sort of a mashup of notes of the goddess of love, your floral white kind of tones, and then you have some things in here that are a little bit closer to what you would consider more kind of God of War-esque. Your cinnamon,
fiery,
your clove.
More fiery and bold.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's fun. I think it could have even gone a little bit farther, and maybe in the dry down it'll be that a little bit more, because there's amber and other kind of notes that it'll be towing the line, this sort of interesting back and forth between war and love. It's soft and
the middle path between the two.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's
That'll
really
be
nice.
that'll be one I'm looking forward to wearing and trying out for a full day, and I think it could be a good contender for maybe a shared fragrance between the two of us.
I think that it would fit that really well. This would be a great work scent.
Yes,
I think as well.
Agreed.
Would work really well in an office kind of space. Obviously careful on the sprays, because everything from this house is
Packs a punch.
potent.
I still keep smelling this Birth of Venus every time I move my hand. I just want to keep sniffing on it. It's so delicious.
Frozen out of the goddess's tender or seductive yet tender gaze.
Seductive yet tender.
Entranced, so to speak. The female gaze. Tender yet seductive.
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
Okay, the last one? The last one! Oh my gosh! This has been so much fun.
It has been.
Yeah, thank you for doing this with me, and thank you all for watching it and being part of this with us.
And wanting a part 2.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's go. Last one. Sacred Flame! Yay!
That's probably my favorite artwork out of all of them thus far.
Yeah, that is neat. Look at that juice. That is some dark juice.
Obviously, Sacred Flame, the concept of Prometheus, and that's been used quite a bit. He's a Titan, I think, so he's actually a progenitor of the gods, so he's kind of, which that will play into my fact/rating fact.
That is so interesting, because Loki is also a fire deity in the Norse mythology, in the Norse pantheon. And he is also considered, different than the Aesir, the gods. He is one of the giants, so kind of an interesting parallel. Also a trickster god.
Yeah. It's almost like Jung was onto something with the whole collective unconscious thing. Are you spraying this one on you? Or?
I'll spray it on me. Yeah, you've gotten enough. You've gotten enough. Don't worry, I won't get you.
Did you shoot over your arm?
Yes.
You want to shoot at your arm?
Yes.
There you go.
Wow, that's orange on my arm. That's some strong juice. I think my nose is broken because it's like there's a delay before the scent gets to me.
That's the best one of this session for me personally.
Damn, that's good.
Yeah. Tangerine is the citrus, one of the citruses, but it's spiced orange, sweetness.
Yuletide vibes.
Yeah, like when you get mulled wine and you shove cloves in the orange, spiced orange, not necessarily a boozy note.
Yeah, not boozy.
But
the wood is so rich though, and just combined with the spices and that like tangerine, like that juiciness in the beginning, like
yeah, that's quite special.
Yeah, this is something special. It feels like a special occasion fragrance. Like this isn't something I would just wear on any old day. I would want to have a nice outfit on and maybe have somewhere to go. Like this is really gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, very warm. Sacred Flame, again,
yeah,
calling
warm.
it that, it makes sense. There's not sandalwood, right? No, it's no, there is sandalwood, of course there is. It's an Argos fragrance, of course it's got sandalwood.
Sandalwood, labdanum,
the rose, the floral touches in the heart that it talks about, your rose and tuberose and violet, jasmine kind of stuff. Whereas with the Love Triumphs Over War, floral is the
freshy
purpose.
Floral. Yeah.
Freshy floral. This is that sort of
this is a decadent floral.
The patchouli's in there that I can get as well. It's got a little bit of earthiness.
Yeah.
In that, again, it's robust, it's sweet, it's warm. Perfect for the winter time.
Holiday gathering.
Yeah, like this is something that honestly we're kind of, in our weather, we're sort of leaving that time. Who knows? It's Texas. It changes its mind every week. But this is something that, like, this sample's gonna sit somewhere and...
Do you see how orange that is on my skin?
Yeah. This sample's gonna sit somewhere, and then December or, November's gonna roll around. It's gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna wear that for some party function. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It feels like something like Thanksgiving, Christmas, or like some sort of holiday get together. I would love to get a hug from someone that's wearing this. Very pretty.
Yeah, that's that one's delightful. That one is really great, and especially if you like orange as kind of your citrus note.
Yes.
That's gonna be your jam. That's great.
That's gonna be your marmalade. What a fragrance to end things on. Wow. What is our rating of this one for Sacred Flame?
In Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the book was originally titled Frankenstein, the Modern Prometheus.
That's interesting. I never knew that.
Prometheus is a really interesting icon. There's a great TED Ed video on YouTube that talks about it. Interesting how it gets used throughout art of different types and referenced a bunch conceptually, mostly related to like the fire aspect, but also some other things. It's really cool. So again, that's the thing with this house. Like, you're not buying an Argos fragrance because you're like, I'm buying that so I can get compliments and impress people. You're hopefully buying it because you sat down and you said, anything that has something like this on the front of it and then smells like that is something that I'm about.
This interests me.
Yeah. It's a house that you are looking to have an artistic experience, both olfactive and also visually. Fantastic stuff. Even the things that we weren't necessarily wild about, I still like this.
Totally.
She doesn't, but I like this. But it's also something that this is a wonderful, evocative piece of art that's being made. And it makes that sort of connection. That's kind of my thoughts on it. Did we want to like maybe talk about if we were to, now that we've completed a sample set, what would be our intentions? Like, let's say you had to pick 2 fragrances from the house now that you've completed a sample set that you would purchase full bottles of to start.
Okay.
And kind of why.
So realistically, I'm gonna try the samples more and wear them more before I make that decision, if I'm going to get any at all.
I already wore Danye and Adonis Awakens to work.
Yeah, I've worn Danae for a full day, but none else. I think my next that I'll wear for a full day will be a Birth of Venus. Yeah, I guess if I had to pick 2, only 2, to keep, I would pick Birth of Venus, and it's hard to choose between Danae and Sacred Flame. Hold on. Man, that's hard. I guess I would pick, I would pick Danae and Birth of Venus as my top 2.
I would say Adonis Awakens would be the one that I would pick, that I would wear on a consistent basis, where I could find myself wearing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would take Sacred Flame as my second choice. That one would even probably be a smaller bottle. Adonis Awakens, I could see myself purchasing the full 100 ml. Sacred Flame, I'd be more interested in the smaller bottle, because I think that is a special fragrance that I would want to wear for special occasions.
Overall, I'm very impressed by the whole house. Love the artwork. I was very impressed by the presentation of the samples. The letter that it came with was such a nice little touch.
With also the code for 15% as well for your first purchase.
Totally.
That's always a wonderful thing. Day 3 Fragrance does that as well, where you basically get a code that you can put towards a bottle. Theirs is more so where your discovery kit ends up being free, kind of, because you get that credit towards a bottle. Yeah, fantastic. Kind of from the ground up in regards to everything that the house is offering. Fragrances, presentation, the way in which that they're selling the product as well. It's fantastic.
My main takeaway, I would say, if you are a fruity floral lover, if you are a gourmand girly, check this one out. Check out Birth of Venus. It's really just beautiful florals, powdered candy sort of vibe. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that it was entertaining and informative, especially if you are considering sampling from Argos. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye. Nice.
It's the Gisada Uomo. A lot of people know like Ambassador and Titanium, which I have both of those. This is this I think is a little underrated from the house. It's warm apricot, a lot of good woody notes, nice kind of fall scent. I think I'm gonna wear that tomorrow if it's raining.
Smells very professional to me.
Mm-hmm.